Welcome everyone to the show. Today's episode is all about something that feels like it's everywhere right now: artificial intelligence. But here's the thing: everyone is talking about AI, yet when you ask people a simple question like, "How are you actually using AI in your life?" most people pause. Some say, "Well, I've heard of ChatGPT," and that's it. So today we are talking with someone who is building a program that helps people go from hearing about AI to actually using it in practical ways. Joining me today is Ayanfe Oluyomi, director of the Cuesoft Talent Academy, also known as QTA or QTA. Ayanfe, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ibuko. I'm really glad to be here. And I actually love the way you framed the question because that's exactly what we've been saying. It's everywhere in conversation. Everybody's saying, oh, use AI, use AI, use AI. But truth be told, not everybody knows how to use it meaningfully. And that's really the problem we aim to solve in QT.
Yeah. Before we talk about the courses themselves, I want to ask something I think many people are wondering. Why does AI feel so intimidating to learn?
All right. Honestly, it is because most people, apart from the fact that they hear about ChatGPT or some of the NLP or LLMs, they are introduced to AI in the most complicated way. They hear huge terms like neural network, deep learning, large language models, computer vision, agentic AI, and the likes. And suddenly it feels as though you need a PhD to before you can even start, right? But the truth is that AI tools, they are already part of our everyday tools. They are already integrated into them. And people just don't realize how accessible it is. So at Q Soft Talent Academy, we ask ourselves two very simple questions. First question, what if we taught AI in the same way people learn everything else, step by step process? And the question is this, what if we teach people how to integrate AI into their everyday business such that its AI stops being an abstract concept to what they use daily? And those are the two simple questions we ask ourselves for in QTA.
Right. So before we dive deep into like the all the technical details, so for people who are hearing about this for the first time, what exactly is
Great, awesome question. Let me officially introduce QTA, which is QTA stands for Cuesoft Talent Academy. Cuesoft Talent Academy. It is an initiative and an arm of Cuesoft Inc. So Cuesoft Inc. is the mother body. So Cuesoft Talent Academy is just like under it, and was created simply by looking at how everybody goes about their daily activities and how they want to develop practical skills in emerging technology, and they are not provided with enough tools or enough information to do that. So we created Cuesoft Talent Academy in mind to help people develop those practical skills in emerging technology. And right now, the emerging technology everybody talks about is artificial intelligence. So instead of teaching AI as an abstract concept, like I said, we designed it into a pathway that allows people to gradually incorporate it into their daily activities. So our AI learning program then is divided into 3 levels.
right? 3 levels. Can you like walk out through these 3 levels?
Yes. The first level is basic AI. And this is where people learn how to use AI tools. To reemphasize that, to learn how to use AI tools for normal day-to-day activities. So the aim is to use AI tools for your day-to-day activities. No matter what you're doing, there's a way AI can help you. And this is where most people should start or should concentrate, because you can be in some field that is not even related to computer science, or in some field that is not even related to anything technology, right? AI is not just for programmers, it's also for you. It's for entrepreneurs, designers, students, marketers, anyone, anyone, anyone.
Right. So when you say everyday activities, what does that look like?
Yeah, so it could be things like you want to write your emails faster, you want to generate some creative ideas, you want to create a marketing content, you want to design visuals, you want to organize your task, or even plan projects. Now, all of these things I've mentioned are intrinsic to any business, to any day-to-day activities you want to do. You would always need to communicate through emails. You always need to have creative ideas in your business. And we can take some examples maybe later on. You would always want to have a better way of reaching out to more people about what to do. And one of those ways is also creating visuals, right? You'd have a whole lot of things to do. So how do you organize them? How do you organize everything you have to do? Not forgetting that you also have to complete some projects. And an example of this would be a small fashion business. All of these things I've mentioned is intricate in a fashion business. So they might struggle with things like a marketing caption or even coming up with a new design idea. And AI tools can actually help them brainstorm this design concept. They can help them generate caption for Instagram, or they can even draft a professional message to customer. So AI suddenly goes from being an abstract concept to what they use to run their fashion designing business. So it becomes a creative assist.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like having an intern, like who is incredibly fast, but never asks for lunch breaks.
Yeah,
So an intern who is always locked in.
exactly. And this intern actually happens to know half of the internet, to have read half of the internet.
Right. Yeah. That's actually a very powerful way to look at it. So the basic level is about using AI to improve your daily work.
Yes, and we want people to be more comfortable with the AI tools, because once someone understands how to use the different AI tools effectively, their productivity increases dramatically. For example, they don't have to spend like 2-3 hours brainstorming on visual ideas. They can just feed those words. They can put a prompt into an AI tool, which will then generate a visual idea for them. So basically, it increases their productivity dramatically, exponentially.
Yeah. I'll also give us like a fun example. Even the logo for this podcast was done exclusively using AI. So we just put all our pictures together and say, okay, generate a cartoonish uh logo with the logo at the back with this particular background color, and it did that. So none of us were a graphics designer, but we were able to do something really unique and still work us. So yeah. Can you give us a few more examples? Because when people hear use AI in daily life, it still sounds a bit abstract. So what are some real things someone can do with AI today?
Yeah, great. That's a great question, because once people start seeing the possibilities, then it becomes exciting. Now, so we've been talking about the basic level. We usually explain AI in 3 simple categories: communication, creativity, and everyday work. Let me start with communication. And I've given the example of a fashion designer. So many people run businesses and provide services. But even with every businesses, you still need to communicate. Like, you can't run a business without communicating. You can't network without communicating. You can't do a lot of things without communicating, unless you're living in a silo somewhere in the middle of the Audi month Audi, I believe, somewhere in the middle of the mountains. So no matter what you're doing, you need to communicate, and you need to be professional about it. Else, their view about you will kind of go down. Like, they'll be like, okay, well, you're not being professional. So this can actually be difficult considering many other things you have to do, right? But with AI tools, you can draft professional messages, like responses to customer inquiry. Like, a customer can ask, maybe a tough customer in fashion designing can come today and drop a material and say, oh, I want it done tomorrow. Or let's say, oh, no, let's say, I want it done in next 3 days or 4 days. And you are like, okay, yeah, we can agree to it's been done in 4 days. And then on the next day, the customer was like, oh, no, I want to come and collect it in tomorrow. Like, basically, I need it as soon as possible. And it can be tough to handle that, right? Now, you can decide to spend 30 minutes trying to brainstorm how to professionally answer the person in a way that does not offend the person, so that person don't take the business elsewhere, while also taking every other work you have into consideration. So instead of answering the customer harshly, and the customer will probably give you some bad review on Google review if you use that, or Yelp, or whatever review system you use. So instead of the customer giving you a bad review and not recommending other people to you, you can use an AI tool to draft a professional, balanced message that will satisfy the customer while also considering what you have to do. And that's just a very in-depth example. And some other examples include, you can use it to explain the prices. Let's say a customer send you let's say you're into delivery of stuff, and the customer send you a request, and then all of a sudden the person wants to see a breakdown. Yeah, you can use an AI tool to do the breakdown, just feed the prices and the items into the tool, ask it to explain it to them. And you can,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use it for delivery updates and follow up after services. In fact, it can automate everything. So if you run a small business, AI can actually help you communicate more clearly and professionally.
Yep. That alone could save people a lot of time. So
Exactly.
so work every time. We can have more time. I think that's what AI is doing, is making us more productive and freeing up time to be able to do more. And there's this crazy thing in the news now, is they are discovering that with more usage of AI, that people are actually working harder. It sounds
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
intuitive,
yeah,
but right now people are actually working harder than before AI, because you're working. So people are kind of addicted to this tool, like vibe coding and stuff like that. Because now you can get the feedback loop is very, very quick. You can prototype faster. You can iterate faster. So people are just spending more time doing stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. That's actually, I believe I read something about that, in which now, instead of you to be outsourcing some things to people and have to wait 3 or 4, 5 more days, you can do it yourself, right? And to just give you an example of this, and I think it's similar to the example Ibukun gave earlier about the logo for the Q show. I used to have done that. I would draw a very miniature, a very rough sketch of what I want in terms of diagram. I take a picture, upload it to AI, ask it to make it fancier, or make it, and it does it, right? And that actually brings me to the second category. I talked about communication, and second category is content and marketing. So like I said, I can take a design, sketch it with my hand. This is what I want. Just take a picture, and AI will design it, right? And with that, I can create a content, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, they struggle with marketing their work, especially online. And AI too can help you with that. It can help you generate social media caption, marketing ideas, promotional messages, even campaign slogans. And so suddenly someone who says that, oh, I'm not good at marketing, the person can still promote their business effectively.
Yep. That's interesting, because marketing is one of the biggest struggles for small businesses. Like, even for us at the earlier stage, we struggled a lot with marketing, but with AI, we are now able to do tremendous things with marketing. So it's been
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. Thank you. And yeah, absolutely. And then the third category will be when you want to generate idea and you want to brainstorm. It's now more hard to get stuck on an idea. Why? Because you have your intern, which is the creative assistant that knows half or more than half of the internet. So whatever idea you can do, you can feed it into it and ask, okay, what next? Or what should I do next? This is what I'm thinking. What are your suggestions? And it's so incredible to generate new ideas and help you complete some of those ideas. Can generate like business name ideas on product concepts, marketing strategies, content topics, and the likes. Can generate so many things. And so instead of just staring at a blank page of what to do, you can use it to brainstorm. It can be your brainstorming partner.
Yeah. So yeah, basically AI removes that moment where you're just staring at your screen thinking, what do I do now? So it's like, I think there's a technical term, like, I mean, there's this thing called writer's block. So AI could basically just remove that your writer's block or your creative block, and just allows you to just keep flowing.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And that brings me to another. So we've mentioned 3 categories. Remember, initially we talked about AI can help in communication, creativity, and even your everyday work. And we talked about communication. We talked about creativity in terms of content creation and or marketing. And we talked about, and also in terms of idea generation and brainstorming, which is kind of what you do every day, is like a day-to-day activity. And the other category that we will teach or will show you is how you can use an AI tool for planning and organizing, which is basically what you have to do every day, right? So instead of having to write a paper from 9 p.m. or from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'm going to meet with this customer. 10 to 11, I'm going to do this. And then after looking at it, then you realize that, oh, wait, I need to put this person on my schedule today. And then you have to delete everything and start all over again. So instead of doing that, we'll teach you how you can use AI to help your schedules, to help plan your projects and some study plans and generate some different tasks. And for example, a student could ask an AI to create a a 2-week study plan for exams, and the AI would break it down step by step. And of course, the AI can generate that, but the AI will not come and carry you and force you to.
Yeah, that sounds like something I wish I had when I was in school. The study plans, like I think the students now have it so easy because back in the day, like in the university, basically what we used to do was, okay, we practiced past questions. Now, imagine a system that is constantly taking in past questions and then generating questions based on those past questions, and then you're able to like generate new questions and then do answers, and then it will even explain it deeper based on your school's past questions. You won't feel if you have a good memory, there's no way you can fail exams anymore.
Yes, exactly. So apart, even like, so that is like in school, even shifting the gear, one of the most exciting things about Cuesoft Talent Academy is that we teach you some of these tools and we actually show you in the basic course. And apart from that, it can actually be Cuesoft is a branch of Cuesoft is based in Nigeria. And for Nigerians, one of the most rampant or a very widespread thing Nigeria do is handiwork and skilled traders. Very, very common. Excuse me. Now, I've given the example of a fashion designer or a tailor. Now, some other ones which can look absurd, but you can still use AI for. You can use AI is an electrician. You get to a new building or you get to a place and you're kind of confused on what's happening. You can use AI tools to troubleshoot or to look at some steps. You can use it for it to explain some technical issues to clients in a simple way. We've talked about communication, right? We can use, okay, as this, this popular joke, which would be like, then, if you pass if you send the packet through the IP address and send it through a communication protocol, it can get stopped by the firewall. And then someone will be like, can you speak in English? Something like that, right? So exactly, you can use a whole bunch of electrical terms and the client will just be like, what are you saying? So you can use AI to explain it in simple language. For a mechanic, you can use AI to research some possible cause of an engine problem. If it's a more advanced mechanic, you can use maybe some of these diagnostic tools. Once you get the diagnostic, you can use AI to learn or to look at what may be wrong with the engine of the car. Maybe the check engine light is on. These are things you can use it for. For a baker or a caterer, can use AI to generate nice visuals, even to generate ideas, many ideas. And if you're a chef and you like exploring, you can actually use AI to explore some of those things. You can use AI for like some pricing structures that, okay, compare it with other possible, compare the pricing structure of my restaurant with other similar restaurant and give me a pricing structure. So these are things you can use AI for. And for someone like a barber, hairstylist, or furniture maker, can use it to generate AI poster. You can take the face of the person with their permission. And actually, this even goes for a fashion designer. You can take a picture of the person or take the face of the person, like I said, with their permission. Upload it and ask, okay, try this style, maybe for a barber, try this fade or low cut or afro hairstyle, try it on this person, put it on this person and generate a picture. Let me see how the person will look like. Or for a fashion designer, look at this idea, look at this design idea, try it on this person and see how it's going to be like more like the person is wearing the clothes virtually. And you can show it you can show that picture to your customers and say, this is how you look like. Is that okay by you? Right? So a whole lot of things to explore. And these are things we teach in Cuesoft Talent Academy. We basically we basically take it from being an abstract topic for you to be able to abstract it in your day-to-day activity. We work one-on-one with you, like, okay, if you're a fashion designer, these are the things you can do, and we help you, we teach you on how to do them. And these are things that we do at Cuesoft Talent Academy. So AI does not replace the arts that do the work, right? Like I said, you still have to do the work, but it will support the thinking and some other redundant activities behind the work.
Right. And you mentioned electrician, and I just remembered even Microsoft is now running an ad that Copilot can help you do your plumbing. Copilot can help you fix your electric issues. So even big companies like Microsoft also realize the potentials for AI. So that's a very powerful way to look at it, because a lot of skilled workers are great at their craft, but maybe sometimes we struggle with the business side of managing things.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Cuesoft Talent Academy Basic AI course is all about. It focuses on people who already do something every day and we help them infuse AI into it. We are not trying to turn everyone into an AI researcher. We are helping people become more productive, more creative, and more confident in their work. And once people start using AI like this, they realize it's not something distant or complicated. It's just a tool they can start using immediately.
Right. Yeah, this is getting interesting. So apart from the basics, what are the other levels? Like, let's learn
Right.
about that.
Okay, thanks for that. So the other two levels, like you said, there's the basic, there's intermediate, and there's advanced. So the other two levels now is more geared towards people already in tech, right? They already have a knowledge of programming or something in tech. They know some of this tech, they maybe software engineering. So the next level I'll talk about is the intermediate level. And this is where things really get interesting because you now learn how to use AI to program. For example, you want to become a software programmer. So instead of having to go and learn a whole bunch of, let's say, Python or C++ or JavaScript, and learn it manually, the intermediate course is geared towards helping you use AI to build those programs much faster, to build software much faster. So instead of spending months, weeks, months, and understanding coding from scratch, students learn how to code using AI tool as a programming assistant. On this, I believe we've done a lot of justice to this particular concept in our previous episode. So feel free to watch any of them. So in the intermediate level is where we introduce things like learning programming with AI guidance, using AI to write a code or to explain a code. You can build simple application and even deploy those applications with AI. You can automate different tasks with script and tools. The idea of the intermediate level is not just to learn coding the traditional way, learn from scratch, no, but you learn how to program with AI helping you along the way.
Right. So this is where developers or even aspiring developers start getting excited.
Yeah. And what you're doing at this level is simply teaching people how to learn coding faster using AI. And like I said, you don't have to spend hours stuck on a particular problem. You can just simply ask AI to help you code, debug, or suggest improvements. AI then becomes like a mentor to you. Mentor available at any time because, our mentors, you have to like book a meeting maybe 2 weeks out before you can have a meeting with them. So it dramatically speed up the learning process. And to just give you specific example of this is front end, back end, and DevOps. These are what you can use AI to learn. Like you want to be a back end engineer, will teach you how to use AI to learn back end engineer faster, and you can code faster. So basically, that's a specific example.
Yeah. So basically, you're teaching vibe coding within certain constraints. Like you teach people the basics of this thing so they understand the security aspect and all the technical language of some of these areas. So that's interesting because I know a lot of people who want to learn programming, but they feel very overwhelmed. I've actually had people approach me and it's like, oh, is that intermediate particular one they want to learn because then they will be able to become a front end or a back end engineer very faster.
Yeah, and AI lowers that barrier. It helps people to quickly understand the concept. They practice coding, they build small projects and deploy it. They build it much more quickly than before. So instead of just reading theory, they are actually building things as they learn. And as we always emphasize in Cuesoft Talent Academy, we are hands-on. We are from day one, we are hands-on. We are not going to start teaching you, oh, what is Python? Oh, what is variable? Oh, what is function? No, we don't do that here, right? We teach you with project from day one.
Yeah. So if I understand correctly, the journey becomes first you use AI in everyday life, then you start learning to program with AI helping you.
Yes. And once people reach that stage and realize how powerful AI can be, that is not just as a tool they use, but as also a tool that helps them to create technology in themselves. They move from uh, which is basic. They move from, okay, AI in everyday work, and let's say you now want to advance. Okay, yeah, I want to really go into technology. I want to go into programming. I want to become a programmer. I want to move from my everyday activity. I want to be a programmer. Then we'll use AI tool to help you create that technology yourself. You use AI to build different projects.
Right, right. So and then that comes like eventually you move on to the advanced level where the real science happens.
Yes, and the advanced level, let's say now you've gone through the whole, okay, you're now a programmer and you now want to really know what AI is internally. the structural AI. That's where the advanced level come in, which is basically that the students, talents, will now learn the mathematics and the architecture behind AI system. This is where we actually teach the mathematics. We teach you on a different AI concept, including neural networks, machine learning, large language models, computer vision. I will teach you the underlying algorithms or maths behind it. So students learn these systems, learn how these systems are actually designed and trained, and they can then adapt whatever they've learned to design and train their own AI.
Yeah. So at this point, you're not just using AI anymore. Like you actually understand how it works. Internet. I like the progression because starting from the basic to advanced is like it covers everybody. Like literally every single person who wants to learn about technology can come to the Cuesoft Talent Academy and get something from it. Right from the basic, how to use tools, you get exposure to tools uh, that you can use in everyday work, even your life. Sometimes I ask AI everything from very silly questions to very complicated things. And then you move on to, okay, well, I'm a programmer. I want to learn how to have the best workflow because now like you have several skills, like you're talking about skills in with AI agents. Okay. So how do I set up the workflow with this the skill.md file? We can teach you how to put some of this together and then you then proceed to that advanced stage where, okay, I already know how to program. Now I actually want to have my own model that is just tailored because a lot of these AI models are kind of subsidized right now. So everyone is just using it. You don't really know the real cost of it. So it will come a time when it's only rich people that are able to use some of these frontier models. So it would be nice if we too, as Africans or Nigerians, are able to build useful models for ourselves, by ourselves, controlled by us. It doesn't have to answer all the questions on the internet, just for what we want to use it. Just for my small business, I just want to integrate some level of AI into this.
Yeah, yeah. And to just buttress more on that, it's necessary that Africans shift from a technology consuming continent to an innovator. We should stop consuming technology. And a popular example would be most African governments, we host their data abroad. They will host it somewhere.
Yeah, Nigeria pays Microsoft so much money. Like we read it in the news last year, like the kind of money Nigeria is paying Microsoft, like what? And Microsoft just left Nigeria like a couple of years ago. So yeah, that doesn't sit well. Like, and we have a lot of Nigerians that are very good. Some of them work for these companies, but no one has seen the vision as, okay, wait, can't we just pull all these people together and then build something? So I believe that's what the Talent Academy too is aiming for, is if we can just saturate the market with so much AI knowledge and talent that it will make not building something very, very impossible.
Yes.
So by the time everyone knows about this thing, like you see some level of changes happening.
Yes, and we basically move from being AI user to AI innovators. In case maybe along the way you discover that, oh, this is a patentable idea, you can watch our episode on how to patent, how to protect ideas, and that will give you a strong backings to make sure people don't copy ideas. So you basically become AI innovators, and this is one of the goals of Cuesoft Talent Academy.
Yeah. Basically, I'm thinking of a scenario where we train a model on all the African languages and then maybe try to come up with one unifying language that is completely different from every other language. You know, some people invent languages for movies. I don't see how Africa cannot have one language. It could be based on Swahili mixed with Yoruba, mixed with Igbo, and just create a one language kind of thing for us. So we don't use some of these colonial languages like, oh, we are speaking English now. Why are we speaking English?
Yeah, yeah. And there's so much, AI opens so much possibilities. And let me just talk more on the advanced course. Once you know the inner workings of some of those algorithms, it just opens up the world. Then you kind of see the world in a different light, because you know that, okay, instead of me just shooting AI with different prompts and things like that, and it will always give you results based on its knowledge. And guess where most of its knowledge is coming from? From non African countries because
Yeah.
most African
Bias.
countries, yeah. So it's already biased towards the knowledge it has, which comes mainly from the Western world, developed world. So you can then tune or reprogram the AI to fit into our own narrative and to solve African problems. And that is one
Right.
of the things we aim to achieve in the Talent Academy.
Yeah. That bias is something uh, that I've been thinking about lately. Every time I do some form of research, is when I try to do some kind of research around Pan Africanism, and I feel it's going to, like, it's something I just think about. This thing is not going to give me what I want, because I don't think it has been trained on any kind of data that would give Africans some form of advantage.
Mhm.
It's something to think about. Is when you do some research, and then you try to maybe prepare some kind of document on something related to Africa or Nigeria, try to test it for some kind of bias. Like, if sometimes there are certain things that we see as problems, and then the AI probably won't see it as a problem. We think that, oh yeah, Africa is very good, is this is like, because that's a narrative they would like push.
Without there.
But we understand our problems, our own real problems, better than whatever article someone has written that is online and then it's been fed into the AI system. So it might not reflect the reality of what we have. So that's something people should be mindful of when they're using AI for research.
Yeah, exactly. And an example is that most AI model may not really recognize the fact that some African countries does not have constant electricity or does not have good roads. They only give you results based on their data. And in Cuesoft Talent Academy, right, apart from all of these learning that we've talked about, we make sure we teach you modularly. And like I said, we aim to answer 2 questions. So the first question, which is how do we learn, which is that you learn step by step. So we'll make sure that whatsoever we're teaching you is step by step. So for example, in the basics, you learn AI for productivity, AI for creativity, AI for communication. In the intermediate level, you learn AI with coding with AI, building intelligent system, automation, workflows. In the advanced AI, we first start with you understanding the basics of machine learning. Then we go into progression, into neural networks and how that works. Then we look at how we can apply neural networks in different scenarios, which part of it includes the large language models. We look at some of the algorithms under that. We look at computer visions, we look at some of the algorithms under that and the like. So in all of these, we make sure we do them, we teach them modularly, progressively. Yeah.
Right. So, well, why do you think this kind of learning is so important right now? Why now?
Yeah, because AI is basically becoming a foundational skills. And as we've said before, that AI would not replace humans, right? It will, people that know how to use AI will replace people that don't use AI. So just like knowing how to use the internet or a computer became essential over time, people who understand AI will have a major advantage in business, technology, creativity, and entrepreneur. And yeah, and one thing, like I said, is that people that know how to use AI will replace people that don't.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement. So before we wrap up, if someone is curious about joining the Cuesoft Talent Academy, what should they do?
It's simple. Go to our website, cuesoft.qta.cuesoft.io, which is spelled as cueta.cuesoft.io, and look through our offerings, choose any level that is suited for you, register, and take over from there.
Right. Thank you very much. So this has been a fascinating conversation. If you've been curious about AI but didn't know where to start, QTA might just be a perfect place to begin. Start with the basics, learn to work with AI, and who knows, you might end up building the future with it. Ife, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, and it was a very fantastic conversation.
Yes, and for our listeners, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please follow us on social media. We want your comments, we want your questions, so we can keep the conversation going. Thank you very much.